am Jody, and I am a psychic medium, with parentheses, in training. So this first video is just going to be basically me coming out of the spiritual closet, and it's going to be really quick and basically saying what my channel is going to be about and where I'm going to go from here. Initially I was going to actually do a from start to finish all of my psychic medium type of experiences that have happened and how I've led up to this part in my life, but now I'm just like, ugh, that's a lot. So I figured I might do really quickly the first actual thing I remember that I felt really different, and then I would do the latest development in what's going on with me. So here it goes. The first time that I remember feeling different than everybody else and feeling like there's something wrong with me was I was 8 or 10 years old, I believe, and I got a book on tape, and it was a Goosebumps tape, and I loved that book so much. It was about gnomes, and I guess killer gnomes or something really creepy, and I really loved it. And I remember that it got to a certain part and I heard a voice, and it sounded like a man's voice, and it didn't seem like it belonged on the tape. So I freaked out. I took the cassette out and I just sat there, I was like freaking out, because I really shouldn't have been up past my bedtime listening to this cassette on tape, this book on tape, but I was. And I ended up thinking, okay, I am mental, it's gotta be on the tape, that's the only thing that makes sense. And I put the tape back in my little stereo thing, and I played it back to a different point in the tape, and I remember thinking, oh my god, it's not there anymore. And I was so freaked out, I felt so weird about it, and I remember thinking, oh Lord, what was that? And then it just kind of kept on going, different things happening to me, spirits happening, and different experiences that I experienced. And I am just gonna warn you right now, when I recorded the other tape, I was completely blurry and everything in the background was not blurry, so I have a good feeling that spirit might mess with my recordings. So if that happens, just bear with me, listen to me, and I'm hoping that it won't be like that. I have it on autofocus for me, so we'll see. And then I guess the thing that happened latest is, and how I've gotten to this point is, I have always suppressed it. I've always thought it was crazy. Whenever I've been to a therapist, I have completely dismissed this part of me about just basically anything that has to do with hearing voices in my head, seeing things, because I knew that that was something that could label me as a schizophrenic. And I know I'm not crazy. Well, no, I didn't know if I wasn't crazy, and I didn't want to end up medicated, to be honest with you. So I kept a lot of it suppressed. I denied a lot of it. And I really just kept on saying, no, this isn't happening to me, basically. This is not normal. This is not. And I gotten to the point where I would say the last year or two, I've gotten really depressed. I have gotten really upset about everything when it comes to my gift, and I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, maybe I just need to say, okay, I'm mental. And I've been on this journey to get healthier, mind, body, and soul. And it was funny because I was like, I feel like I need to record my journey. And so what happened was is that a couple of weeks ago, I started doing it. I did mind. I was going to, I was working on meditation and some other things. And then body, I started eating healthier, and I was going to talk about going to the chiropractor to help fix my knee. And then 2 weeks ago, I started doing soul, and I was like, what can I do with soul? And like, you know what would be really funny and hilarious to like do is get a tarot card reading from a psychic. And I was like, you know, I believed it, but I wasn't super like this would actually work. I found somebody that I connected on YouTube, and I got a reading done by her, and it was so detailed and like just made so much sense. And then on top of it, she told me that I had a gift to speak to the dead, or to the past or dead, and that I could also speak to angels and higher frequency beings. And that was the first time I have ever, well, I've always thought that there might be something that I could speak to people that have been passed, but that was the first time I ever had heard anybody say that I could hear, or that I could speak to or communicate to higher frequency beings. I've looked through a lot of that stuff. I've like, you know, delved into a lot of it because I was curious. You know, Long Island medium, all those mediums are super big, but I never thought that was me. And then when the tarot card reading happened, I realized that the things that I felt so passionate about and I found so beautiful coming from other mediums and other spiritual people was actually something that I could do, and that somebody completely random that I don't even really know somehow picked up on that, and I was floored. So then she told me that because I could speak to my my angels or spirit guides, I should communicate with them and try to see if they can come into my dreams, or they could help me with my dreams and lead me to somewhere it is. And there was one day I just had a thought, and they weren't really coming into my dreams, and I actually honestly had really vivid dreams, but I couldn't remember them, which that didn't really help. And I was writing her an email basically saying like, they're not speaking to me, I'm not really sure where you got this. And then as I'm writing, there's a thing called automatic writing, and if you're in a good trance or a good meditation, you're in good headspace, that sometimes when you're writing, all of a sudden you can be thinking other things and hearing messages from your spirit guides. So I was typing, and I heard somebody basically in my head. It sounded like me, but it was like this thought that I totally didn't believe. And it goes, why are you typing this up? And I started typing, you know what to do. You know that you can speak to the people that have passed. You have seen spirit. You have heard spirit. You have all of this that you know, and that's your truth. And at that time, I was listening to a book on Audible by Shaun T, and it says, and he kept on saying like, speak your truth, speak, you know, your deep secrets. And it all hit me, and it was like they said, speak your truths. These are the signs that we keep on trying to send you, and that you know what to do. And I go, okay. So I started delving in the last couple of weeks with everything spiritual, and I'm so confused, yet so fascinated and overwhelmed. And all of my whole life that these gifts have given me the most terrible anxiety and depression. And on top of it, I have empathy for the living, and there would be times where I couldn't tell if they're my thoughts or their thoughts or somebody else's thoughts. And there's times where I've gotten to the point where I felt self-harm thoughts. I felt depression to the point where I felt like I couldn't keep on going. And I didn't think those were my thoughts, because I was always a pretty like happy kid. I was pretty happy and pretty joyful, and at times I can be very cynical, and I'm not gonna lie, but I've never had those type of thoughts. And as my gifts started to develop, it was uncontrollable, it was unbearable. And it's been something that I've been so worried that people are gonna think less of me or think more of me, or God, just think that I'm a liar. And the problem is like I'm constantly overstimulated. This is something I have to go through. I have to do for me. Because if I just keep on letting this happen, I'm constantly feeling spirit. I'm constantly seeing things. I'm constantly hearing things that aren't mine. I'm feeling like I'm hearing thoughts that aren't mine. I have to learn about this. I have to. There's something in my body, in my head, everything that is like, you gotta shut this down, or you have to keep on going with it. And for some reason, I have a feeling that this isn't gonna go away even if I try to shut it down. Because like even right now, I can feel spirit, I can see spirit, and I feel, God, this sucks. But like sometimes when I'm like on the right track, I feel these shivers, and right now I feel shivers, and I feel like this is what I have to do. And I feel like there's other people out there that are struggling with this as well. And you know, we've been, especially, you know, the people that were born in the 90s or earlier, spiritualism and stuff like this wasn't a huge thing. Like, it was Christianity or nothing. And then a lot of the Christianity, you know, basis, because of a couple of Bible inserts, basically made it sound like, you know, we can't have these gifts, that this is devil's work. And that's not what it is. Yes, I am much more affected by negative entities and negative things than other people. But there's so much good that has came out of it, that I feel this longing to keep on going and to keep on doing the things that, and to keep on accepting it. And I don't know. So we're gonna go on, and I'm sorry I'm crying, but it's something that has bothered me to the core. And I remember hearing somebody compare, I think it was like a Monica the Medium like interview, and she was talking about it basically is like kind of coming out of the closet, like, you know, spiritual closet is similar to being, you know, coming out of the LGBT, you know, closet. And I can relate to that. And I've always related a lot to people that have those deep, dark secrets. It's just, you know, like, even though they're not dark, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with it being different. You know, it's hard to know that most of society has these norms that you just don't belong in. And for me, I don't belong in these norms. You know, I don't belong in this world without my gifts. It's just something that's always been a part of me, and I can't control it. I'm getting better at keeping the thoughts out of my head, but I am at the point where I'm starting to hear messages from other people. Like, I actually tried doing a reading with somebody, and it worked out really well, and I was very surprised because I've never been able to control it, but I actually meditated and connected, and I probably broke a few thousand rules on how to communicate those messages. But the girl that I communicated with them with was way too sweet and way amazing and helped me through it, even though I don't know if she's ever been to a medium before. I don't know. And it was the first time I ever felt like I was doing something that I needed to do and that I should do, and I felt so right. And I just don't understand how something that feels so right is wrong. So with that, I'm gonna be done because I don't want more than 15 minutes on my first video. But I have gone to a crystal shop. I have some crystals. I've been into like some supernatural stuff from the beginning. I got tarot cards a long time ago. I've been getting like one deck a year just for fun. And then I have looked up crystals and other stuff and meditation, and I've been interested in it, but I've never really went down the medium path because I didn't think I could communicate with people that have been passed. But it's definitely something that I can do. I just can't control it yet. And I want to document everything on this journey. So I went to a crystal shop last week to help me with all of the thoughts that are coming in my head and anxiety, and wanting to basically being able to actually do this for anybody that's in the same situation as me. And then this week, tonight, I am going to a mediumship circle. And I don't know anything about this, but I found it on Meetup.com, and I'm going to, I believe it's a crystal shop, and there'll be a whole bunch of mediums, and I don't know anything. So we'll see. I'm not going to document in the store or in the circle, but I definitely will probably be posting on my Instagram stories a little information, and I'll have my Instagram linked below. And the Instagram stories, like it'll be on the top of my profile, and it'll just be like the bubbles, and then there'll be one called like Mediumship Circle, My Thoughts, and then I'll talk about that next week or the next week after that. I'm gonna try to just stay to like one topic every week. But yeah, I'm Jody, and I am a psychic medium, and I'm coming to terms with it and learning a lot. And I'm gonna have a book club, so if you are a new, like, learning to be psychic medium, and also, by the way, I think everybody has a gift and they can develop it. I just think some of us are more naturally attuned to that life, and you can follow as well. I'll be doing a book club, and you can comment your thoughts below. If you know something I don't, or you're more experienced than I am, as long as it's all positive feedback and positive criticism. Just like, use your manners, please. I know I'm the only one that probably has manners at this point. I swear I hate when people don't say please, thank you, excuse me, stuff like that. But just use your discretion, and if you leave a hate comment, I'm gonna delete it, or I'll make a really funny comeback. But if you're gonna be a normal viewer, just don't respond to the hate. Let me say thank you, or you're so right, or do some ironic, not rude, positive comeback, because I believe that the positivity that you put out in the world, you'll receive. And those people that are going to leave hate comments are dealing with something themselves. So just remember that, and I hope your week goes well and you stay positive and have a great week. I don't know. Bye.